I had no choice but to follow. If your skin is cut by the Alikir and does not bleed, then you are considered worthy. Anyone can follow. Few manage to survive. The next morning I woke up and was startled to find myself surrounded by 3 new guides, each bearing no similarity to the last. I insisted no, demanded they tell me what had happened to the others. They said nothing, and once more bade me to follow. So it went as we traveled across the coastal kingdoms, through sandstorms and mountains and the snake pit of Balhar. Every night I bade my guides farewell, for every morning I knew another set would take their place. For almost a full season, finally the guides led me back to familiar sands, and we followed the stars to the nearest settlement. When we reached the oasis, I thanked the last of my guides, and was about to set off when I realized for the first time I recognized their faces. Sullen eyes, thin lips, and hooked noses. They looked almost like vultures. Then I knew. The guides had never changed, only their faces. The guide saw my expression and nodded. I asked for his name, and if he would take me on as his disciple. "You may follow," he said, "but a name I cannot give, for to name a hollow-faced man is to walk the Alakir, and name the grains of sand." Must we prattle on about the particulars? I would much rather spend time in the arms of a young and handsome adventurer. But if you must know, they are assassins, priests. Like followers of Sithis, the Hollows walk the path of the living void. The lifeblood of their magic comes from their tribal gods, to whom they pay tribute at the shade temple strewn across the Alakir. They walk this long pilgrimage. The sandstorms cut away at their flesh, shaping their countenance, eroding flesh and bone. You may find that hard to believe, but it is true in Hammerfell sand plays an important role in the shaping of all things. It is sand that allows the saw to cut and shape blocks of stone, sand that is glazed on the bone cutter's knife as he reshapes your skull. And that is the answer to your query. It is not flesh that makes a face, it is cartilage and bone. Shape that, and the flesh will form around it. A bed of sand may be as soft as a cloud, but individually each grain is extremely coarse. The ancient stonecutters would lay out a line of sand over a block of granite, then run a saw over that line. It is not the same type of saw we use to cut wood. The saw has no edge. It is there simply to apply pressure. The sand serves as its teeth. The sand scalpels of the hollow-faced men are made by binding grains of sand to a small, edgeless knife. The end product is a blade that can shape and cut bone as easily as a man shaves his beard. I appreciate your candor, but I wonder if you're projecting the limitations of your own face onto mine. Do not misunderstand, your face is quite lovely. It simply needs to be fine-tuned. The creators can be quite sloppy with their work. You have a beautiful face, and if I were still an apprentice, one that I would have very much liked to sculpt. Alas, now that I have evolved as a sculptor, my spells and my scalpel are only for the dead. restoration. I'm sure you have noticed, but healing potions, spells, and incantations do not repair the dead. Restoring dead flesh, even if it were as pristine as yours, is inconceivable without the knowledge of darker arts. I can shape the skull, mold the cartilage, and bind dyes to their pupils to give their eyes luster. Yet incisions must be made, and incisions can leave scars. A coven native to the coast. A league or two. In truth, I would have followed any coven, but after my time in the desert, I longed to see the ocean. Witchcraft naturally aligns with my interests. The ability to transform the body, to lengthen bones and expand the heart is an important skill. It is said the Glenmoral witches once took flight as ravens, and their spells could cure lycanthropy. There was still much I had wished to learn from the beldam of the coven, but such knowledge was only available to the most devoted of supplicants. If by that you mean combat magic, I picked up a spell or two. Yet a witch's training goes beyond mere fire and ice. There are things practiced in the dark, the art of the forbidden, like how to seduce a male, or please a female. The High Elves have long been obsessed with their appearance, namely maintaining a similarity to their ancestral Aldmer. In time, the practice extended to other, more practical uses. Highborn often have their faces chiseled to maintain the appearance of youth. Thieves, criminals, and necromancers will pay a large sum to change their identity. The chirurgeons of Cloudrest accommodate them all. Isn't it obvious? How can I be a sculptor of the dead without dead people to sculpt? True, but I do not wish to start all over from scratch. Much of my belongings were... For one, there was a male hip bone widened to resemble a female's, crafted by a body sculptor. One of my former masters kept it as a souvenir, an oddity one puts on a... However, as a young apprentice bored with magic, it became... As my skill improved, I gravitated toward the more difficult arts, the more delicate flesh. Yet it all began with that single sculpted hip bone, one given to me as a parting gift when I left for Hammerfell. As the bandits unloaded my belongings, I overheard one of them discussing his future plan, something about setting up camp overlooking a sleeping giant. His words only confused me, but perhaps you will be able to make sense of it. Excellent. I look forward to having my items returned to me. Some are dear to me for sentimental reasons. Others, and I assure you, if you do this for me, you will be handsomely rewarded. It is well known that the Aliads kept entire stables full of slaves, relying on... Back then, slaves were valuable commodities. Stronger specimens, like yourself, for instance. Of course, it is believed this led to underground operations, where the bodies of weaker slaves would be modified to appear robust.
connects to the foot bone. Foot bone connects to the ankle. No, the ankle isn't just one bone. That can't be right. Do you like bones, friend? I like bones. You're welcome. That's my collection over there. I like to look at them when I sleep. It's like a big puzzle. There's so many types, and they all fit together. Yes, backbones are very interesting. So many little segments. Like, I killed some bandits the other day. They had such nice bones. And not just inside them. Oh yes, I've gotten quite good at it too. Can't build a... I kill them while they sleep. And then I take their bones. Hips are my favorite. Shaped like a butterfly, except they aren't made of butter, but bone. Oh no, you can't put a price on bones. That's just wrong. I hoped you would ask me about my bones. The hands are... I also have a... By Hizmir's beard, I can't tell whether they belong to a man or a woman. It's very important I know what type of bone I'm handling. I hadn't considered that. Would explain the peculiar shape. Well, I don't want anything to do with a fake set of bones. Here, you take it. The toe bone connects to the...
Don't be afraid to put on a brave face. Marvelous. And with minimal damage, I see. In any case, you have my thanks. The item... As such, you have certainly earned your reward. I must say it is most handsome. This orc skull has been carved to resemble a human. It is by far one of my proud... I filed off the tusks and contracted the jaw using techniques practiced by... It was a passing fancy of mine to sculpt orcs into humans. When my name is known throughout Tamriel, this skull may be considered a priceless historical artifact, a symbol of a road almost taken. You won't. You can't. Such is the skill and care I put into sculpting it. For his skin would tell you his true ancestry, even if his bones... But do not fret. I am sure Skyrim is home to at least one shopkeeper who is discerning enough to recognize its worth.
Не стоило сюда приходить.
Bad idea.
Bless our victory.
Вы нашли меня.
Maybe I should get my
Лалетта
face
тоже
tatted.
пыталась меня найти.
But I'd
Но я
probably
рада,
just
что
end up
вы
with more
нашли меня
scars.
первыми.
Besides, my hero
Лалетте
has no
велели
need for a
сжечь
gun so
мамочку и
fair.
меня, но она не захотела. Она хотела играть со мной всегда-всегда. Она поцеловала меня в шейку, и мне стало так холодно, что огонь даже не обжигал. Лалетта думала, что сможет взять меня к себе, но не смогла. Я сгорела. Я устала. Я хочу поспать.
Лалетта! Она мертва! Борода из мира! Она вампирша! Она мертва. Лалетта? Я думал, что она ушла к братьям Бури. Ах, моя бедная Лалетта. Она стала проводить много времени с Алвой, а ведь еще за неделю до того... Кстати, в ту ночь, когда она исчезла, Алва мне потом сказала, что она так и не пришла. Я так и не... Ты думаешь, что Алва... Но это значит... О боги! По-твоему, Алва вампир? Нет, ты ошибаешься. Это не может быть правдой. Лалетта, наверное, утонула в болоте. Я не верю, что Алва как-то замешана в этом. Ты никогда не докажешь это Ярлу. Я надеюсь, что Алва не такая, как ты говоришь.
Poor Helgi. She deserved better. These vampires, these monsters, they will not live to see the morrow.
Bad idea.
That was a good workout. I should not have thought ill of Frogar. Vampires are truly like the moonflower. They bloom at night, white as ivory. Beautiful, but deadly.
Виновен ли Хрогар? Алва не думала, что она на такое способна. Тебе есть чем подкрепить свои слова? Нельзя же бросаться обвинениями, не имея веских доказательств. Значит, это правда. Вот ведь вероломная дрянь. Морфол у тебя в долгу. Держи. Я обещала тебе награду за расследование этого дела, но мне все еще нужна твоя помощь. Морфолу до сих пор угрожает опасность. В дневнике упомянут Мовард, старый и могущественный вампир. Мы думали, что я соберу отряд крепких воинов, чтобы вы очистили логово Моварда. Они будут ждать тебя снаружи.
Мое дело защищать ярла, а не болтать.
Я делаю все, чтобы Идград не тратила время зря и могла заниматься тем, что действительно важно.
Good to see you. See you around.
Я лучший воин. Хочешь, докажу? Ставлю 100 кишка танка. Ага.
Well met, friend.
Я выбрала эту профессию, когда была еще девочкой. У нее была книга, песня. Правда? Я тебе кое-что расскажу о травах. Ты уже знаешь все, чему я могу научить.
Она мертва. Лале, я отомщу за свою жизнь. Я отомщу за Лале. Мы отправимся в логово Моварта, что с тобой, что без тебя.
Be careful and stay safe.
Умри, чтоб тебя!
Давай! Давай!
Сволочь! has no place here!
Тут кто-нибудь есть?
Ты
называешь себя воином?
When we spill their blood, we wash the land clean.
Gods, not this again.
Those who
wrong
challenge
dinner
us are
anymore.
faithful. That's the last of them.
The townsfolk want vengeance, my count, and you shall lead them to it. Let us show Mavar the will of the people, for we are nobody's slave.
Что это было? Ни следа.
Кто-нибудь есть? Oh, no, you don't.
Напрягись!
Enough! This ends now!
That's the last of them.
That was a very tough fight. I think even my scars have scars.
If one of us gets infected, we should hurry back to a shrine. Potions work too, but I don't feel as clean unless I pray for a cure.
Мой друг умер. Без него теперь все станет иначе. Они трусы, но я нет. Я пойду с тобой. Да, наверное. Я все-таки... Иди и отомсти за мою Лалетту.
Townsfolk want vengeance, my friend, and you shall lead them to it. Let us show Mavar the will of the people, for we are nobody's slave.
Skinny you alive, wolf.
Ancestors grant me strength.
Люблю хорошую
Этого хочешь, а?
Я покончу с этой глупой игрой.
О, как это будет приятно. Конец тебе.
Come on, let's.
Your head.
Close challenge.
Тут тебе конец.
Let's keep moving.
There is no Sovngarde for vampires. It doesn't matter how strong they are in battle. They're cowards, too afraid to die.
Она мертва. Лалетта мертва.
Рад снова тебя видеть.
Hello, friend.
Take care.
Морфол раньше был тихим местом. Хочешь, докажу? Кишка тонка. До встречи.
Дурное у меня предчувствие.
Похоже, у тебя в кармашках завалялось немного золотишка, не так ли, дружище? Да. Разреши-ка я возьму у тебя этот кошелечек и эти симпатичные ботиночки. А теперь полежи здесь вместе со своими милыми дружками, а я схожу за лап... А?
Out here it's
Strong
kill
will
or be
each
killed.
fight. At least I like to think so.
кто-нибудь. Есть? Что это было?
What a battle! Hopefully we will not turn into vampires come morning. But in all seriousness, I am glad we avenged Helgi and her mother. End of you.
Crows feast on the wicked.
А?
That should take care of them.
See anything useful?
Мама зовет. Мне пора спать. Я так устала. Спасибо, что теперь маме стало лучше.
Glad you're here.
Ладно.
You're bloated with disease.
Мы с тобой здесь единственные,
Greetings.
кто еще не лишился
Until next time.
Ah, good to see you.
Тебя это не касается. Иди отсюда. Юстициар Талмара. Выполняю ответственное поручение, а ты мне мешаешь.
Good to see you.
Клянусь восьмерыми, я не думала, что ты с ним справишься. Теперь мы сможем, наконец, оставить прошлое позади. Прими это в знак нашей благодарности. При дворе есть покои для нового Тана. По большей части это просто... Однако даровать этот титул... Помогай моим людям, тогда я сделаю тебя Таном. Удачи! Тогда, по праву ярла, я нарекаю тебя Таном. Я даю тебе это оружие. Я сообщу страже о твоем новом титуле. Они должны подобающе вести себя в твоем присутствии.
Если
верно?
у тебя какой... В Морфоле нет домов на продажу. Но если тебе интересно, могу предложить... Ну, это дело твое. Что-нибудь еще?
До встречи.
You're back! Oh, fine.
I love what the Jarl has done with the Hyman Hall.
Ooh, what have you
Behind
got?
the throne are very cute.
You like to keep her waiting, no? Yes?
Я делаю все. Да, это на северном... Отлично. Если не боишься... Земля на побережье, через дельту реки Карт, если смотреть от Солитьюда. Великолепный вид, кстати.
Ярл назначил меня твоим хускарлом. Для меня честь служить тебе.
До встречи.
It's a fine day for a tune, don't you think?
Иди отсюда. Живо! Тебя это не касается. Предупреждаю, Талмор охотится за тобой.
Good to see you again.
Удивительно. Что ж, давай я покажу тебе кое-что из того, чему научили меня храмовые целители.
Вот! Вот так, не связывайся со мной.
Ну, наконец, у нас гости. Скидывай обувь, отдохни. Дай мне знать, если я могу чем-нибудь тебе услужить. В последнее время совсем нет работы.
How can I help you? Did you know the bard who used to play here? Had a voice like broken glass and fingertips like the knob of a cat. Sometimes the old goat would venture outside, and when he played... I miss the green skin. His name was Lurbuck, and he was the greatest sodding bard in all of Skyrim. Goodbye.